Vikings season 4 came back with a wonderful episode that sort of made sense of all the time jump. And this episode, of course, was entitled "The Outsiders." It's season 4, episode 11. And in this episode, we find Ragnar back in the village of Kattegat, or city of Kattegat, trying to reconnect with people from his life that he had before he left Kattegat after his failure in Paris. And really, we get introduced to a ton of new characters, and we get to see characters we didn't see before, now all grown up, and see their personalities sort of be shown this first episode. And it was a very fun episode. We got to see, of course, Lagtha and Ragnar have their moment in which Ragnar opened up that he regrets that they didn't just stay on the farm, and it's a very emotional moment. Really, this episode was full of emotion if you think about it. Bjorn, feels left out, feels like he wants to go on his plan, his journey, and he doesn't want to go on Ragnar's journey with him. And so you sort of have this disconnect between Bjorn and Ragnar, and I really think that'll be cool to see it explored the rest of the season as Bjorn wants to go to the Mediterranean to do his sieges and his plundering, while Ragnar wants to go get revenge on Wessex and the Kingdom of Mercia. And so I can't wait to see that play out, see that dynamic play out, and see who sides with who. We didn't see much of Queen Aslog. Of course, we'll probably see that later on. But really, I think the standout for this episode, the standout characters, were probably Ivar and Ube. Ube, we had a scene where he was about to fight Ragnar in the beginning and hugged him, and we see Ube is a very, caring and a very, how do you say it, compassionate son, but also he's very, of course he's battle-hardened like all of Ragnar's boys. But the coolest character, the coolest son, by far has to be Ivar the Boneless, because there's multiple scenes. We see Ivar throughout this whole episode. He wants to get with his girl, their slave. I believe her name's Astrid, or I actually, they don't remember her name, so I guess it's not a big deal that I don't remember her name. But Ivar finally does, and he gets with this girl, and Ivar still doesn't feel like he's accomplished. That's the thing. He's always felt like he's been underestimated, underaccomplished, that he can't do things like other people can. But he's fought against it. It's made him a harder person and a fiercer warrior. We even see a scene where he's fighting off, showing up a lot of his brothers at combat. So it's going to be cool to see Ivar sort of step up. I think he's going to be sort of the person who takes over after Ragnar's reign. And so his character is just well fleshed out, well developed, and really great. And Ube, of course, got developed a little bit more. I think we'll see more of Sigrid and his other brothers, or the other brother. Well, actually, I think that's all there is. Hiverstedt, and Sigrid. I'm sorry if I'm butchering their name. I'm sure I'll get used to their names a little bit more when they're more in this season. But the two other sons need to be fleshed out more, but Ivar and Ube were definitely fleshed out well in this episode. Also, we got to see Floki again. Floki's, of course, a fan favorite, and it was fun to see him and Ragnar talk things out. And really, at the end of this episode, we figure out why Ragnar was trying to talk to all these people to get close to them again. And the reason being is he was going to end his life and kill himself. And of course, if you do that, you can't enter Valhalla. So that's why I told Floki that, and they had a very emotional scene. It was really cool. But ultimately, this episode succeeded because, it had the emotion, but that's not what Vikings about. It's about the characters and how they interact with each other, and that they really interacted with each other in interesting ways. And I'm so glad that we have all this brand new cast coming in, this fresh blood, because it's really making the show exciting again. And I can't wait for all the plot lines to collide with this show, because that was my problem with the first half of season 4. It seemed like everything was disjointed. This latter half, I'm pretty sure they're all going to end up at England at the same time at some point, and I can't wait to see that story come together, of course, with King Egbert and Ragnar going for revenge and everybody else who's in the mix. So this episode was fun. It was great. It was exciting, and The Outsider really got me excited for the second half of the season four of Vikings. So I'd have to give it probably a 9.2 out of 10. I hope you've enjoyed this review. Remember to like and subscribe for more. This has been Jonesy from Joneser TV signing off.